Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're taking a look at Azerbaijan summer weather, specifically late July 2025. But here's the twist. What seems like a simple forecast, it actually reveals a much deeper story. You'll see how these immediate predictions, they connect to some surprising long-term climate impacts, and that reveals, well, a shocking economic vulnerability, even a kind of policy paradox for the region. So our mission here is simple. We want to give you a quick shortcut through the forecast itself and help you grasp these, surprising links to the bigger climate trends. We've waded through a pile of sources, weather warnings, climate analyses, economic projections, and yeah, they paint a fascinating picture, sometimes contradictory actually. Okay, let's unpack this. For July 18th, 27th, 2025, Azerbaijan is staring down peak summer heat, expected to be very hot. Baku, the Absheron Peninsula, probably looking at 30 to 35 Celsius. That's 86 to 95 Fahrenheit. But if you go inland, say the Kuraz lowlands, temperatures could push past 40 Celsius, over 104 Fahrenheit. When we dig into the details here, what really stands out in the sources about this heat, especially in the cities?
Well, what's really striking is the heat wave risk, particularly in urban areas. The urban heat island effect. Cities just soak up and hold more heat, all that concrete. And the numbers, well, they're pretty stark. Think about this. The number of days over 35 degrees Celsius in Baku, it went from 86 days total between 1960 and 1990 to, get this, 365 days between 1991 and 2020.
Hold on, 365 days. You mean like almost every day hitting that high mark in recent decades compared to before? That's, wow. What does that kind of constant extreme heat do to, public health, daily life in Baku?
Exactly. It changes everything. Massive implications for health, for work productivity, just the basic rhythm of life. Adapting to that kind of sustained heat is a huge challenge.
Okay, now here's something interesting. The source is called July a dry month. Minimal rain. But then they also mention risk of intense localized events. That sounds, well, like a contradiction. How does that work?
Yeah, it seems that way, but it's about the nuance. It's not the total rainfall volume, it's the intensity when it does rain. Historically, July actually has the most days with large hail in Azerbaijan, usually in the afternoon. Plus, you have these strong Khazri winds. They can be really powerful dry gusts, up to 144 kilometers an hour. That's nearly 90 miles per hour. So yeah, low overall chance of rain, but when something hits, it can be high impact, sudden. And climate change is unfortunately making these more intense.
Right. And what about the Caspian Sea? Water temps sound quite warm, 24 to 30 Celsius, 75 to 86 Fahrenheit. Sounds great for a swim.
Oh, absolutely. For tourism, right now, it's appealing. Very warm water. But if we connect this to the bigger picture, it's actually quite concerning. The Caspian Sea itself is facing a major long-term decline in water levels, directly linked to climate change. So, enjoy the swim today, maybe. But the underlying story is one of serious ecological stress. The sea is shrinking.
That contrast really captures it, the short-term appeal versus the long-term threat for the Caspian. Let's zoom out then. Look at the broader long-term picture across Azerbaijan. The country's already warmed significantly, about 1.3 degrees Celsius increase in mean annual temperature by 2010. And projections, they show another 2 to 3 degrees Celsius rise by 2050, maybe even close to 6 degrees Celsius hotter in summer by the 2090s if emissions stay high.
And that ties back to the rain paradox we mentioned. Overall, summer rain might decrease slightly, but the heavy rain events, they're projected to get more frequent, more intense, which means, greater risks of floods, landslides. It makes managing water resources incredibly complex. Less rain overall, but more damaging rain when it comes.
So, okay, bring it back to the listener. What does this all mean? Why should you care about Azerbaijan's climate future?
Well, here's a really critical point, the dilemma. Despite being a major oil and gas producer over 90% of its exports are petroleum-based. Azerbaijan is projected to be the most economically damaged country in its region by climate change. We're talking maybe an 8.5% hit to future GDP by 2050 because of climate impacts. And this really highlights, a critical misalignment, especially when you see their current climate policies rated as critically insufficient. They're just not on track.
It's a profound challenge, isn't it? A strategic knot. They're managing the immediate heat, the storm risks right now, while also facing these accelerating, really severe long-term climate threats. And the vulnerabilities cut across everything: health, farming, water, the whole economy. So here's something to think about. Given Azerbaijan's unique spot dependent on fossil fuels, yet highly vulnerable to climate change, what does this deep dive tell you of the huge global challenge we all face? Balancing today's economic realities with the urgent need for climate action, for building real resilience.